This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
My name is Desiree, and I'm a first-generation college student.
I'm Zach. I'm undecided in my major, and I'm a catcher.
This message was sent to you.
$500 down the toilet along with your performance. You are worthless.
Get the hell off the field before you lose me any more money, you sorry
This is wrong.
I'm more than a bet.
Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
You want the best for your child. K-12 can help them gain the skills they need to reach their full potential while giving you the support you need to get them there. K-12-powered schools are tuition-free, accredited online public schools for students in kindergarten through 12th grade. Their state-certified teachers make online learning interactive and engaging, allowing your child to learn at their pace from the safety of home. Join the more than 3 million families who have chosen K-12. Go to k12.com/podcast today to learn more. That's k12.com/podcast.
Man.
What's going on there, Vox? How you been?
Bonjour, Pierre. Comment ça va?
Nous regardons la télévision. Pourquoi? Je m'appelle Paul.
Oui.
Les DuPont arrivent dans une heure. Do you like the guy they drafted, Baron J? And how much are you digging at Alan Horton at Wolves Radio?
Pierre, it's great to be on with you. Yeah, Johan Berenger.
Johan.
Johan.
Got it.
Not Johan.
Yep.
Johan.
Got it.
He's intriguing, isn't he? I mean, obviously everybody's highlights from their draft package look great. I mean, they're isolated to show the highlights. But this kid's really intriguing. You love his size. You love the age. He's still 18 years of age. This guy's been playing basketball for 4 years. 4 years. Now, he's still athletic. I mean, he was playing soccer up until that point, but he switches to basketball. He's played 1 year of professional basketball, and now he's in the NBA. He learns English in 7 months. I don't know how long it would take you and I to learn French. It would take considerably longer for me than 7 months. I know that. And he possesses a skill set that is much coveted in the NBA. You need rim protection. You need defensive flexibility, and he's got those things. Now, will that translate to next season or in 2 years? No, this is more of a long-term play, probably behind learning from the best, right, in his countryman Rudy Gobert. So I think there's a lot to be intrigued about, and I know the Wolves are really excited about this kid.
All right, so Fox. We have Rudy for 35, 36, and 38 over the next 3 years. This French connection, you don't in any way next season or in 2 seasons envision any form of a Twin Towers. I'm not going to say the Admiral and Tim Duncan or Samson and Olajuwon, but nevertheless, do you envision that at all?
Maybe. That could be in play.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Maybe as the 4, is he better suited for the 4 than the 5? Perhaps. We'll have to wait and see, but it's he's another guy that the Wolves have kind of in this younger pipeline. Matt Lloyd, who's Tim Conley's right-hand man, talked about it after the draft last night when he spoke to the media. They've got young guys at almost every spot now, whether it's Rob Dillingham at the point, you've got the wings in TJ Shannon, Jalen Clark, Josh Minot. I put those 3 guys kind of in that wing category, and then Leonard Miller at your power forward spot, and now Berenger at a center spot. So you've got some possibilities, which is so crucial in today's NBA in building your roster, PA. You've got to have these young guys in the pipeline because that's the way you fill in some of your other roster spots when you get when you're paying lots of money to your key guys. I mean, just look at who won the title in OKC. Obviously, they have a lot of picks coming, but they have already got at the back end of their roster guys that can fill in when Jalen Williams starts to get paid, when Chet Holmgren gets paid, and all of a sudden you can't afford Hartenstein, you can't afford Dort, you can't afford Caruso, but they've got younger guys to fill in, and I think the Wolves are well positioned there to try to fill in some of those spots as we move on in the next couple of years.
Yeah, and you saw OKC, you like the size that they have inside. They went out, they got Thomas Sorber, another center, I think a Georgetown kid. So again, building on that and having that pipeline going. I am curious, though, like into the draft, again, not knowing how Connolly would handle it. It's tough to really be surprised if Connolly maybe goes in a different direction or does something unique. We've seen him active, certainly, in the trade game since he came to Minnesota. But was there ever an idea in your head where you're thinking, if they can find something that can help the Wolves now? Because I think there's, in any time there's two camps, right? Because you mentioned the French kid. The French kid might not be ready while Rudy's even still on the team. You know what I mean? So, the pipeline is as good as that is. Maybe some people were thinking, well, it'd be cool if we could find a shot maker that can contribute a little earlier,
Yeah, and then that's the balance every team kind of goes through. Do you try to draft and help your current situation, or you're looking more towards the future? And if it's a toss-up, which way are you leaning? That's where really front offices know how to make those decisions. And you never know with Tim Connolly because he's not been afraid to make a trade, make a big splash, trade that first-round pick, move up, move down, all of those things. And it sounded like all of that was in play last night. But the best option turned out to be keeping that pick and selecting Berenger. So you're always balancing those two things. And while it is tempting to try to fix something right away and to add to this and help this team get past the Western Conference Finals to an NBA Finals, you have to keep an eye on the future as well. And I think when it comes down to it, they made the best selection for obviously the future, but that outweighed any possibility of maybe making a trade or drafting someone who might be more NBA ready.
Is OKC absolutely the target at which to shoot the next several years? I mean, absolutely.
Yeah, I think so, PA, but I always feel like every year, whoever wins the NBA title, it's like, holy cow, how do we beat them? How do you beat Denver when they won it a couple of years ago? They're going to be good for so long. OKC, same situation. If Boston was in the West, you'd be like, well, last year, how are you going to beat Tatum and Brown? I always think you can't get too focused in on one opponent and trying to match up with them specifically. You only face that team 4 times a year, 4 times out of 82 games, and there's a chance you don't even see them in the postseason or get to a postseason matchup. So I don't think you can go overboard in trying to make sure you beat an opponent. Now, if you can make some moves that do help you in that cause, okay, then that's fine. But I don't know that you specifically go out to build a roster or blow up your current situation to make sure that you're in a better position to beat a certain team, whether it's OKC. Yes, OKC is greatly positioned, but the thought that I think in today's NBA, with the way the CBA is, there's no longer these 5 to 7 to 10 year windows that they're going to be dominant. OKC has a chance to do that because I think they're better positioned than maybe any team in the past with all of their draft picks. But they can bring everybody back for next season. But then guess what? J-Dub needs a max contract. Chet Holmgren needs a max contract. Shea's already on a max contract. Now, like I mentioned, all of those other guys that played such important roles are going to be gone. Dort will be gone. Hartenstein gone. Caruso gone. Now they do have like Cason Wallace on a rookie deal. That's where you have to funnel those younger players in to fill in those spots around your big three. But they are obviously the favorites for next season, Oklahoma City. But I don't know about a year after that. That team's going to look awfully different. Do they have the same chemistry? Do they have the same nucleus? Sam Presti is right up there, executive of the year, well earned, well deserved. But there are going to be some questions going forward, probably after next season, about how that roster takes shape.
When reality basketball ends, the fantasy basketball end of things, the dream weaving, putting rosters together begins. And with the Kevin Durant trade in Houston now, being a Rocket, they're second in the West this last year, younger team. They get rid of Jalen Green. But Ime Udoka, Amin Thompson, they're finding a way to pay Van Vliet and bring him around. OKC may be the target to shoot. Very intriguing in Houston, I think.
No doubt. I think you'd have to put them number 2. I mean, obviously they finished number 2 in the West this past season, and they fortified their position with Kevin Durant. They're as good as Kevin Durant has been and still is. He can still get you 25 a game. He's still such a unicorn. It's incredible the way he keeps going. There are concerns about Kevin Durant, and it's been talked about before the trade. His injury history. His teams haven't been winning in Phoenix and in Brooklyn before that. He's played a large role in that. You have to concern yourself with chemistry issues. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But Houston adds a nice mix, because what were they missing in the postseason? They couldn't get past Golden State because they couldn't score. They had nobody to go to. They didn't have anybody at that level of a Kevin Durant that you can throw the ball into, and this guy can get you points and do it on his own. And then when you surround him with a Şengün, Amen Thompson, I think, is just going to be a monster in this league. This is a two-way guy that's just got great size, great head on his shoulders, plays the game hard. Ime Udoka is a hard coach hard coach to play for, but he's got that hard-nosed nature to him that I think guys love to play for. So Houston's going to be a factor, no doubt about it.
When I was watching the draft last night and, trying to get through like Ace Bailey drama, flag, there was no drama there. Sometimes the lottery is actually the most intriguing part of this 2-event situation. But you get a center if you're a Timberwolves fan in Beringer. But a lot of centers went, starting with Malawach, who ultimately part of that Houston trade. I think he's going to be in Phoenix. You see Derek Queen go, game winner for Maryland and the tourney, Sorber, the Hoya, etc. The idea of going away from size, at some point we all wanted to be Golden State. We just wanted everybody shooting 10 threes a game, to now appreciating the idea of having size, but it feels like the right kind of size. Like, it's kind of fun watching these various little mini evolutions or trends or eras take place. And right now it's like, I need athletic big men in a hurry.
Yeah, it's always funny to see the swings, right, Nordo? Everybody, whoever wins, it's Golden State. Wow, we need guard play, we need shooting, we need to be lights out, just like Curry and Thompson. And then someone like Jokic, who leads Denver to a title. Well, we need bigs. How do you counteract Jokic? And then I think OKC's got pretty good balance with Chet Holmgren and Hartenstein, and then you got SGA and then J-Dub on the wing. They've got nice balance at all 3 levels there, right? Like SGA perimeter, and then J-Dub kind of your also perimeter, but also inside, and then Chet. And it's just you're trying to build out you're trying to build out all 3 of those levels while still weighing. Okay, don't get targeted, don't get short-sighted in just filling one of those holes, because you need all 3 of those levels. The biggest thing for me at the draft, I didn't dive into it too much. I like to just kind of let things play out. It's so much fun. The NFL draft, the NBA draft are so great, because these guys are going to be playing next season. There's a much more immediacy than the NHL draft or Major League Baseball. My God, some of those guys, take 3, 4, 5, 6 years to get to the major league level. Yeah, there are occasionally a few that make it in a year or two, but those are pretty rare. And it's just fun to see all the excitement. All these guys have worked so hard to get there. But I'm fascinated by Ace Bailey, all the controversy surrounding him, his representation, not working out for anybody. And then Danny Ainge takes him in Utah. And so we'll see them 4 times this year because they're in division. But I'm fascinated to see how that turns out, because we know Danny Ainge's track record. He's been really good. He found Brown. He found Tatum. And he's not shy about taking somebody that he hasn't even worked out. So Ace Bailey is a guy I've kind of got my eye on to see how that turns out.
Fox. Can they, the Wolves, can they get 25 minutes or more from Dillingham running the point next season?
That is, I think this is going to be a great summer league, and Rob Dillingham's the top of my list of guys I want to see how he performs at summer league. That's probably TBD. 25 is probably high. And there's so many young guys I want to see play. I want to see what Rob Dillingham has. I can't wait for Jalen. I want to see Jalen Clark play 20 minutes tonight. I want to see TJ Shannon play 20. I thought Josh Minot, when he got an opportunity this past season, showed some real flashes. You could see him fitting in. And then Leonard Miller, who is kind of biding his time now in his 3rd year. So I think there are a lot of guys that I would love to see get minutes. But then the question becomes, how are they getting those minutes? Whose minutes are they replacing? You've got a roster that, Chris Finch told UPA last week that he expects Randall back. He expects Naz Reid back, and obviously Rudy is under contract. Well, that solidifies your 4 and 5 spots with those 3 guys. You still got Jaden, Dante, and Ant occupying the 2 and 3. And that one spot probably does open up some more minutes with Mike Conley, in the final year of his deal, and an opportunity for Rob. This is, he worked really hard behind the scenes that I think is going to pay off in Summer League this season and then into training camp. Because if there's one of those young guys I just mentioned, it's Rob, who's got the biggest window of an opportunity. Obviously, being a top 10 pick certainly helps, but with Mike getting up there, Ant can handle the ball, but obviously, and the ball's going to be in his hands a lot, but you don't want him bringing it up 82 times, 82 games a year. You need a point guard, and Rob has an opportunity to fill that void.
Yes or no answers, Alan Horton at Wolves Radio.
Bring it.
Yes or no? You think Julius comes back for sure?
I think Julius comes back, yes.
Naz Reid?
Yes.
Nickeil Alexander-Walker?
No.
Do you like, what do you like for the squad tonight at 31? Yeah, the yes-no game's over.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I figured that part had ended.
Got any 31 spot steam?
What? Say again?
Got any 31 spot steam? What are they going to do tonight?
The great, that 31 comes first. So there's nothing, your board is your board. It's not going to change once second round gets underway. So I would expect that Tim Conley and his entire staff are set, focused on who they want, and now sort of entertaining ideas about, hey, does someone want to trade up and make a deal with us? This could be a spot where you make a move if they don't have, 100% locked in on a certain guy. I would love to see, we just talked about that point guard spot. I don't know that there's someone at 31 that could fill that void and step right in, but that's a spot I would like to see addressed is another ball handler. Even if Rob is going to step in and be the backup behind Mike and get some minutes, you can never have enough ball handlers. And so I would love that spot if there's someone available there.
Yeah, I'm with you there only because, the way you were talking about Rob, and we're in lockstep mentally on this, Alan, but the fact that we are still in a spot where, 25 is a lot. And we are kind of talking about, again, the projection of an opportunity that is in front of him, but he's got to close on that, how important Summer League will be, which leads me to my question. Summer League is going to be a blast, but with the free agency, the deal-making period, their version of legal tampering begins, I believe, on Monday. And just kind of frame it up simply like this. Would you be surprised if the Wolves are not somewhat active in the deal-making / free agency phase as it kicks off shortly?
Yeah, I think you might be the odds probably would be more on the side of a deal rather than free agency, because I don't know how much money they're going to have to be able to go sign someone that of the quality that might be able to help them right away. They've got some wiggle room, but not a lot, and maybe that's more of a deal. It could be something like a sign and trade too, where you re-sign Nickeil Alexander-Walker if you can't afford to keep him. I know they would love to keep him, and Nickeil has been awesome for the Wolves. That dude has only missed one game since he got traded here.
Yeah,
that's postseason, regular season, play-in, you name it. I mean, Nickeil has just been awesome.
Yeah,
since he got here with Mike Conley, it's been one of the great. That's been one of the great deals, Conley and Nickeil. So I hate to see Alexander Walker go, but that could be a situation where you get a sign and trade. Then you get a player back from whoever's going to sign Nickeil. Maybe you fill the void that way. But the Wolves are not going to have a ton of room to be able to go out and spend big money on potentially who could be out there to help you right away.
Lastly here, Vox, you called a Lynx game last week, and I know you did it for like half a decade, something like that. But what was that like? The squad's really good, right?
Squad is great, and I didn't even see Nafisa Collier did not play in that game in the win over the LA Sparks. Mm-hmm. But Kayla McBride had a huge fourth quarter and turned a deficit into a runaway win for the Lynx. I know they lost on Tuesday night to the Mystics, so they've dropped 2 games this season, but they're right where they want to be. They just need to get Nafisa Collier healthy. I think she's still questionable going into Friday night at Atlanta. But it was awesome, PA, because I was there before Cheryl Reeve even got there in 2008.
Who was the coach?
In 2009 when Jen Gillum was the head coach, and Don Zierden was the head coach before that. And so I saw what Target Center was like during those downtimes. And when Cheryl got here in 2010, started to put her plan in motion, then you acquire Lindsay Whalen, you get Maya Moore, there's a dispersal draft, and you pick up somebody like Rebecca Brunson, who's one of the all-time great rebounders in this league, and got her jersey retired and number retired and all that, rightfully so. But just to see the atmosphere in the arena, it's built into a monster at Target Center. It's just, there's a big-time feel when you go into a Lynx game that wasn't there, over a decade ago before Cheryl stepped in. I mean, 16 years. She's going to finish as the all-time winningest coach in WNBA history. She's going to finish with coaching more games, having a higher win percentage than just about everybody. It's really incredible what she has helped build, and she's done it in so many different iterations, whether it's different players, it's different coaches, and she's still been able to be at the top of the WNBA, no matter what era it's been in. Go back to 2011, that was 14, 15 years ago. It's incredible. It's been fun to see the Lynx sustain this and sustain, packing the building and just having a big-time atmosphere. It's really fun going out there and seeing this team win.
Couple of things.
Down memory lane we go.
Don Zierden, best friend or very close friend of Flip Saunders, may God rest his soul, an assistant coach. Down memory lane we go, Vox, and I know you remember this too. I believe his name was Isaiah Zierden. Really good Minnesota high school basketball player, Don's son. And secondly, you mentioned Fee, Nafisa Collier, MVP type stock in the WNBA. She may be nicked up right now, but I bet you by next Tuesday, when that Commissioner's Cup takes place at the finale at Target Center, and old Caitlin Clark comes in with the Indiana Fever, I bet you old Fee's 10 of 10 ready to go that night.
I just hope that Caitlin Clark is healthy. I saw today, PA, that she might miss the next couple of games.
Oh, come on.
Something flared up, a groin injury, I think, and so that's put her in doubt for the Fever's next couple of games, but hopefully she's back at 100% because, man, Caitlin Clark in the building, Commissioner's Cup on the line. Let's sell that place out.
Yeah.
Let's make it 2 straight Commissioner's Cup. That is big-time basketball. To be a big-time matchup. If Collier can get healthy and Caitlin Clark can get healthy, that's must-see TV right there.
I understand, but if the Iowa Hawkeye girl doesn't play, that viewing audience might have gone from 900,000 down to about 100,000. But anyway, I greatly appreciate you, and you have yourself a wonderful day. Thank you for the contribution. God bless you and your family, and we'll talk soon, okay?
PA, Nordo, always a pleasure. Everybody have a great summer. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Vox. At Wolves Radio, he's Alan Horton, and he was he's great to chat with. There's a lot that came out of that Nikhil Alexander Walker thing. Now I'm a little bugged, but not enough time to share why I'm bugged. Maybe save it for tomorrow. I like Nikhil Alexander Walker, and I like him on the team. I've just now heard flippantly 4 times this week that he's out. Yeah, Julia's back. Na's back. Na out. Yeah. Out. Okay, and. Maybe I have some ins as to why, with like all of us, watching, just whatever. I got to think about how to put this because I hope he's back on the team, but he's probably not going to be. But one thing that is certain is we have money to give away. I'd like to give it to Nikhil Alexander Walker as maybe a 9 to noon gesture to help him stay here with the Minnesota Timberwolves. But we can't do that. And here's Nordo.
Yeah, the Fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a chance to win some bonus bucks with the National Cash Contest. Is in $1,000. Now, that might not be enough to bring back certain players to hoops teams, but it might be an opportunity for you for a little bonus buck chance. So go to KFAN.com, enter the keyword credit. Might win $1,000 with the keyword credit. Just use that at KFAN.
My name is Desiree, and I'm a first-generation college student.
I'm Zach. I'm undecided in my major, and I'm a catcher.
This message was sent to you.
$500 down the toilet along with your performance. You are worthless.
Get the hell off the field before you lose me any more money you saw in
This is wrong.
I'm more than a bet.
Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
Your child has so much potential, but your local schools may not be right for them. Check out K-12. K-12 powered schools are accredited tuition-free online public schools for students in kindergarten through 12th grade. This is not your typical homeschooling. With state-certified teachers specially trained to teach online, your child will learn at their speed, at home, with innovative, engaging technology. Join the more than 3 million families who have chosen K-12. Go to k12.com/podcast today to learn more. That's k12.com/podcast.
And
in this truncated segment, this brief moment, yours truly would like to thank those who not only advertise with KFAN, but have used yours truly for more than a quarter century. And first and foremost, Continental Diamond, Jimmy and Helene Pessis, now Andy and Revital. I mean, think about that. It's the longest running endorsement on these airwaves. First endorsement I had when I started here in 1998. And we're still together. And I'll explain a little more coming up momentarily. But Metropolitan Ford, Eden Prairie, Eric Bjorgard with us every Monday. Awesome with my son, Derek. Steve's Appliances, Hoffman Cooling and Heating, TimberTech. I'll never forget how I met Jesse Singh after the Eagles beat the Vikings in the NFC title game. I'm downtrodden. Monday, Mall of America, heading up to the top floor to do 5 days of radio. I just had no desire to do. And I hear somebody, "Hey, PA, sorry about the game." And it was Jesse Singh, the CEO of AZIC Corporation. They run TimberTech. Jesse and I became friends for a while, and then TimberTech jumped on board with the fan and yours truly. Josh Pomerleau and his real estate team, Sandvold Financial, Slumberland, Hammermaid, and Eric Grams with Touchdown and touchdowntown.com. This gives me an opportunity just to personally thank all of you for believing in the radio station the way you have, and call out to many of you who have always thought about it, but weren't exactly sure how to do it. And I'm talking about advertising with KFAN. You don't even have to use me. You can use somebody else from the Core Four. This works with us, and it's proven over the course of more than a quarter century. Like, think about Paul Lambert. Think about Meat Sauce and his longstanding relationship with 7th Avenue Pizza and Gopher State One. You know, it works. So let us complement your marketing strategy and potentially open new doors for you, because personalized endorsements with most of us at KFAN can lead to massive wins for you and obvious results for the leader. So it's just a thought. If that piqued the interest of anybody, you're welcome to write me at PA@KFAN. And once again, to everybody who's used 9 to noon, 10 to 1 just for fun, and specifically me, thank you very much.
My name is Desiree, and I'm a first-generation college student.
I'm Zach. I'm undecided in my major, and I'm a catcher.
This message was sent to you.
$500 down the toilet along with your performance. You are worthless.
Get the hell off the field before you lose me any more money you saw in
This is wrong.
I'm more than a bet.
Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
Much. Be right back.
I can't wait until tomorrow. 'Cause tomorrow might very well be too late.
Hey, Dane, how you been?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Dane Moore, NBA via Twitter. Dane Moore podcast is ballyhooed. Most recently, the new full-time owners, Alex Rodriguez and Mark Laurie, were part of a podcast with Dane. And it's not the first time they've done this. It's very, very cool how plugged into and or juiced into you are, Alex and Mark. But there was something that I saw in I haven't listened to it yet, so I'm just kind of I'm picking from the box score here. What is new owner syndrome? Like avoiding new owner syndrome. What does that mean?
Not doing what Phoenix just did. I mean, it's the idea of, I don't know, man. Imagine if me and you bought a team. Mm-hmm. We would probably not restrain ourselves well. And we would be really excited to, enact our own opinions and not rely on, all that. It's a lack of self-control, which is extremely common in billionaires. And so a lot of owners end up getting too aggressive, and they don't take a patient approach. And I think it's a really, in all seriousness, a really interesting thing with this Wolves ownership group and how it's worked, that, that they have actually been here for 4 years. They aren't new owners in the traditional sense, and already kind of have a feel for it that I think should help some of that restraint. And I think not trading for Kevin Durant a few days ago is a good example of that restraint.
I'm going to ask you a personal question. If you're not comfortable answering it, it's completely acceptable and respected. But it's your relationship with Alex Rodriguez. And without getting, too deep into the weeds here, like how did you guys become so close? Because last year when you were doing those on-site playoff shows, not this year, the previous Western Conference Finals run when they lost to Dallas. I mean, when you're in Minneapolis out at like some park and Alex Rodriguez is coming to the podcast, well, that's it. I mean, that's 10 of 10 ever to 10. That's fantastic, man. Elite work by you. But how did you guys get to know each other?
Well, we played together on the Yankees back in the early 2000s. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, it's been a long process that I've been really interested in and quite frankly, concerned about on a personal level at the beginning. Yeah. My career is tied to covering the Minnesota Timberwolves, and whether it was Alex Rodriguez or whoever, I had personal concern that a sale of the Minnesota Timberwolves, particularly back in 2021 when they stunk, and were not looking like a successful franchise, it concerned me that this team could potentially move. So, I started trying to dig in and get to know these guys, get to understand what their motivations were here. And frankly, it's a lot of credit to both of them, not just Alex, but Mark as well. They were very curious how everything worked here. And obviously they relied on the staff there and to understand some things, but they also talked to guys like myself and John Krasinski. And I mean, the reality of the situation of how things work in professional sports, and this, is a lot of people who work for a team have not worked there for very long. There's a lot of turnover. And I mean, I've been covering the team for 8 years. John's been covering it for 2 decades. John probably has more institutional knowledge of the Minnesota Timberwolves than 99% of the employees there.
Amen.
And so I respect their diligence. That they did to get to know us, to get to know Minnesota. And frankly, that started turning my own personal opinion of what this could be. And I was very early on convinced that this was something that they were wanting to invest in Minnesota specifically. And we just kind of developed a relationship from there.
Yeah, you impressed me, ma'am, and that right there is that's fantastic. So thank you for sharing that, because I've wondered that for a while. To the lesson at hand, Baron J at 17. Do you think, or do you have any steam, or do you think they potentially got sniped with Portland taking Hansen one in front and one behind Clayton Jr.? Did you have any desire for Clayton Jr.?
I mean, I think Clayton Jr. was interesting I think the Wolves could kind of use that archetype of player, right? They need another guy who can, I think, at the guard position, who can put the ball on the ground and create a shot for themselves, other than Anthony Edwards. Now, they have that in Rob Dillingham, and I think not drafting a player like Walter Clayton or really even any other guard is a signal of the confidence that they have in Rob Dillingham. We talked to GM Matt Lloyd last night, and he reaffirmed that as well. So I think they were just looking at it and prioritizing what this roster probably needs more in the short term, not the immediate, but the short term, where they're going to need another big here eventually, whether it's to replace Rudy Gobert or to back up Rudy Gobert. We still have question marks about what Julius Randle and Naz Reid, their status is going to be. So
I had no problem with the big pick there, drafting a big, provided it's a big that has defensive versatility in the way that Berenger does. He is not just a dropping back to the basket, big body. This dude is active, man. It's the number one thing that pops when you watch is the speed.
Yep.
For a true 7-footer, you know. I mean, it's impressive.
Dane Moore at Dane Moore NBA via Twitter, that Dane Moore podcast with A-Rod and Mark Laurie. That's available where you find your favorite podcast, but also at Dane Moore NBA. You can start there. So with Dillingham, Dane, do you think you can get 24, 20? Can you get half the game out of him next season playing point guard?
Well, let's see who's on the roster. I mean, if they shoot the moon and bring back Nas, Julius, and Nikhil, that's 8 guys again, man, and we're running back the same problem that people were complaining about / confused about all season. Of like, hey, you want to play Dillingham, want to play Shannon, want to play Clark, but I mean, Nikhil's a pretty damn good 8th man, right? Deserves 20 minutes a night. When your 8th man is deserving of 20 minutes a night, it's hard to, you know, craft out that sort of space. I know Finch talked about that, kind of struggled with that process over the course of the season. I think we're going to learn about what Rob's role is based on what the rest of this roster looks like. I think for sure you'll get more intention from Chris to play him, but it'll depend a little bit about what this roster looks like in, you know, once it's done. And the off season is not done, man. It's right. It's really just beginning.
You think there's any chance, and I'm dreamscaping here like a rube, but I love Derek White, man. Best shot blocking guard in the NBA, and he's really found his feet. And if he's available, do you think the Timberwolves should seek him?
Well, it'd be tough to trade for him, man. I mean, because, you know, Matt Lloyd pushed back on the notion that they don't have any assets on the team, which I agree with because they got a lot of young talent, Berenger now included. But they don't have a lot of draft picks. And if I'm Boston here, you know, for Derek White, the just kind of perfect guard, connector, role player, defender. Yep. I think he's only making $28 million next year.
Jeez.
Yeah, you're going to need to be giving up some unprotected first-round picks. And the Wolves have 0 first-round picks that they're eligible to trade.
Great point.
Now, 0.
Right.
So, I don't know. Like, their assets to get to that level, you know, you need to like liquidate Dante DiVincenzo. You need to trade other things for other assets to be able to do it. So
yep.
I wouldn't go too big.
Okay.
You know, big fish hunting, however that goes.
All right. Well, I mean, you know, say they get somebody at 31 they love and the guy can play point eventually, but a little bit now. Would you, you know, contractually speaking, there may be some work that needs to be done here, but would you make available to Boston Dillingham and Jaden McDaniels for Derek White?
Not Jaden, man. I think we gotta. I think Jaden deserves to be kept out of any trade that isn't for in their prime star. Mm-hmm. You know, and Derek White is maybe an all-star.
Yeah.
But I think Jaden is the type of piece that you put in a trade for a player that's frankly a lot better than Derek White. You know what I mean? And not just Jaden. You know, I'm not saying Jaden for Giannis. That would be a lot more than that. But he's that blue chip 24-year-old that if you want, that's the type of player that gets traded for a superstar.
Yeah.
But this, man, you know this too. Like, they do not want to trade Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah.
They view Jaden as a long-term part of this young core.
All right, I got you, bro. Last one, 30 seconds, you get it all. Got any steam at 31? Anybody you like? Anybody you think they like?
I would keep an eye on Rasheer Fleming, but I would also say this is a full roster. And if you can trade number 31 for a future first-round pick, let's do that. So you have a future first-round pick that you can, you know, use in trades and stuff like that. So we're not sitting here being like the Wolves have no first to trade. To me, that would make a lot of sense to repurpose it into a new asset. But Rasheer Fleming, if they're taking someone.
Have an elite summer. Thanks for everything. We'll stay in touch, all right?
All right, man. Appreciate you.
See you. That's Dane Moore. I'm Paul Allen. Thank you for listening. We feast tomorrow, and we close with Big Daddy Khan putting the wrap on the show.
Big boy's back. Time for 2 more.
It's not a noon, still learning how to say Berenguer, Berenger, Beranger. Je suis désolé, ne parle pas français. 18-year-old draw, but I think he'll be okay. And the Wolves might be in a financial box. But man, I really, really want De'Aaron Fox. But maybe this will be his season to just run it back. Good luck in this muddy Western Conference haystack. And tomorrow, it's a Friday feast, though. Hey, the Wild got a fourth for Freddie Gaudreau. At 10 a.m., we'll hear from Billy G. But the next couple of weeks, the GM is busy. And finally, the Twins won a game. Today, a nooner hoping for more of the same. Simeon's on the mound, though, so never assume. But I'm still on the howl tonight. I want Janai Broom.
Judy Evie.
Podcast today's Paul Allen Show, or listen back to previous show and interviews by going to the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.
My name is Desiree, and I'm a first-generation college student.
I'm Zach. I'm undecided in my major, and I'm a catcher.
This message was sent to you.
$500 down the toilet along with your performance. You are worthless.
Get the hell off the field before you lose me any more money you saw in my...
This is wrong.
I'm more than a bet.
Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.